All right, everyone. So in this video here, I'm actually going to be upgrading the graphics card in this thing. Now, this is the desktop computer I've been using for a little over a year now, and for the most part, it's actually been pretty much rock solid. However, I've been wanting to upgrade the graphics card for a little while, and well, I actually have the opportunity to get a decent deal on a new graphics card. So I figured, you know what? Why not? So, first things first, the graphics card that is currently in here is the NVIDIA RTX 3060, not the TI, just the regular 3060, 12 gigs of RAM, or VRAM in this thing. And I mean, I'm not saying the card is bad or anything, it's just I do a little more intensive things. Plus the fact that there are newer games coming out that are requiring more um, for the price. And whenever I do sell this card off, it'll help supplement the cost of the new card I'm putting in. It's going to be a decent upgrade. So let's go ahead and open this thing up if I remember how to do that. Yes, on the top there. And go ahead and remove that. And then go in, pop that thing. And of course, I need a screwdriver because, I'm always prepared when it comes to stuff like this. So I got the screwdriver now, and let's go ahead and take this off. I'm not going to upgrade the graphics card or anything, or the power supply. The one I'm currently using is a 650-watt power supply, 80 plus gold. This is a decent one. I think this is supposed to be a Corsair power supply. So it is a good quality power supply in this thing. And from my understanding, and also after talking to some people about this, I should be perfectly fine with the power supply in this thing. So here it is. It is the EVGA 3060. They call it the XC. But yeah, go ahead and put that to the side. Now, what I can do is use this opportunity to wipe some dust off because it seriously needs it. So I took the filter, cleaned it, and I'm just going to basically slide this back on or fish it in back on. All right, that's all cleaned up. And let me the hell? Wonder if that was a fluke. Anyway, nonetheless, just that back on. This top one doesn't even look dirty at all. So I'm just gonna let it be. Oh. Well, damn, one of these plastic clips broke. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, it's up here. You know, I bet you it doesn't really. You know what? I bet there's a way I can buy these clips online. So I'll just leave that one out for now. Screw it. All right, now let me grab the new graphics card. After I wipe this door on the inside down. So the one I went with, and it's going to make sense why I went this route. And that is a 4070, not a 4070 Ti, but strictly a 4070. Part of the reason why is without upgrading anything else on this computer, this is literally the the best one I could get, including the physical size of the card. And to save a little money, I did get an open box version from Micro Center. So I did get this a little cheaper than they normally go for. But here is the card. It's just a 4070. It's from Asus. They actually do make decent cards. But I don't know. Let me see how well this is going to show up on film. It should fit without really much effort, though it is quite a bit bigger, actually. So here's the 3060, and here's the 4070. I mean, look how much. Holy, I mean, geez, this is actually a much bigger card than I thought it was. All right, let me see if I can actually fit this in here. Because I was not expecting it to be that much bigger. I knew it was still two fans, but I wasn't expecting it to be that much bigger. But let's see what happens. Luckily, I do have a return period. Just want to make sure I have the room here. I'm assuming this should fit. It'll be a tight fit, but it will fit. I just need to, you know what? I do have zip ties. I'm going to cut the zip ties off and rearrange the wires real quick. So, whoops, did not mean to hit the tripod, but yeah. What I'm going to do is remove this bottom portion where the fans are attached just to get them out of the way temporarily. And this is probably one of the downsides with having a smaller form factor type desktop is really the space. But I kind of knew that when I got this computer that when it came time to do some upgrades to this thing, that there was going to be a little bit of a challenge. So what I kind of want to do is get that there. You know what? I'm just going to... That one wasn't doing anything anyway. Let me just... I can always put new zip ties. It's not that big of a deal. I got a crap ton of them. Plus I can essentially just rearrange these. You know what? This might not actually fit. It actually won't fit. Oh my God. I cannot. That actually won't fit. It physically won't fit. And I'll show you why. Is because, let me see. So the reason why it won't fit is because the way this power supply is oriented, you got the ports here. Because of these plugs here, this bottom part, this back part, is actually hidden that. So I can never get it flat there. So that is going to be a problem, which means I can't actually use this card. So that sucks because I actually got a decent deal on this card. But you know what kind of gets me too? So the board actually stops right here. This is all extra coolers. Could they not like shifted these fans over just slightly just so it's more lined up here? I mean, that kind of sucks because, yeah, that will never fit. Let me just try it one more time just to make sure. Yeah, that is not going to fit. So, well, here's the lesson. Make sure it actually fits in there before you just start taking things apart, like I did. But nonetheless, at least now I know. The other option I could look at, and I think that will probably be the best option, is the Zotac version of the 4070. I'll have to double check on that though. But if it's similar size like this one, then yeah, I'm basically going to just leave the 3060 as is for now and wait maybe for the 50 series. But yeah, that's kind of a shame. I was actually really looking forward to this, but it doesn't physically fit in there. So, yeah, back to the drawing board. All right. So now I ran back to Micro Center, returned it, and the one I ended up getting was really the only other option without going to the 4060 route, which at that point I'd rather just leave my 3060 in there and just wait for the 5000 series. But that is the Zotac Gaming RTX 4070. So I'm going to go ahead and open this one up. Where did my knife go? I'm going to go ahead and open this one up. Check this one out. And this one will fit. I actually double checked the measurements before buying this, and this will actually fit. Which, looking back, I didn't really have to cut any of those zip ties. Nonetheless, I can always put new ones. I have hundreds of extras of zip ties anyway. So I can like slightly clean that up some, all that good stuff. So open this up. Got the card right here. Sweet. And yeah, this is definitely going to fit. So and this one's brand new. The other one was a return. But I originally tried to get that, assuming it was going to fit, because it was cheaper. But just because cheaper doesn't always mean it's actually going to be the better option. So, nonetheless, here's the card. And let's go ahead and slap this bad boy on. And yeah, that is definitely in there. Actually, you know what? It's probably at least maybe an inch longer at most than the 3060 I had in here. So all right, get these two screws on here. And I did read online that if you're going like from NVIDIA to NVIDIA, you don't really have to do much in terms of like the software side of things. because apparently NVIDIA uses the same drivers regardless of which series cards you have when it comes to like the RTX ones. But yeah, basically. Plus, the good thing too with this is that actually, you know what? The connector is upside down from the other one, so I would have to readjust this anyway. That's fully seated. And then all this stuff here yeah. So what I'm going to do now is get a couple of zip ties, zip tie this part out. This is actually fully in there. So I'm just going to zip tie this stuff here, put this back on, put the plates back on, and it should be ready to go. But yeah, this is fully in there. And the good thing too about the Zotac version is that for anyone out there that is worried about, it's like, oh, you only have a 650 watt power supply. Well, the recommended power supply for the Zotac version is only 600 watts. So at least I have a little bit of headroom. Another thing too is that the 40 series, for the most part across the board, versus the 30 series cards, actually uses less power. So these are not only more powerful for most of them anyway, but they also use less power. So that is something to keep in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and zip tie all this stuff up and get back to you. So this is a couple days after installing the graphics card into this computer, and I have to say so far no issues, and there is a slight performance improvement versus the 3060. Now it's not like a big jump, but going from a 3060 to a 4070 is a big enough jump that yes, there are games that I've tried, even games like Returnal on PC, which is actually very demanding on PC. Now I can use like AI upscaling to compensate for uh, the workload and to maintain a decent frame rate. Basically, just trying to maintain at a 60 frames per second. While the 3060 could technically do that, if I was to render it at like full 4K, I was only getting like around 20 frames a second. With the 4070, same thing, having it at native 4K, it was running around 47 frames, while it's not like still like in a playable state for a game like Returnal. It does kind of show that yes, there was a performance improvement. So yeah, so far I'm fine with it. However, I'm going to be honest with you. These prices for these Nvidia graphics cards right now, they're kind of ridiculous, to be quite honest with you, especially for the kind of performance you're getting. And it just seems like the way Nvidia is approaching the 40 series, who knows, maybe it's going to be the same thing with the 50 series, is that it's going to be incremental upgrades in terms of raw power, but the the DLSS, what would it be, 4.0 when it comes out for the 50 series. It's going to be a lot better, and I think that's where it's going to be the biggest improvement. And another thing, I think also when it comes to like their cheap cars, like currently like the 4060s, I think they're gonna just drop that whole version of the 4060, basically with the memory bandwidth, and go back to the higher bandwidth. Because even when I went to Micro Center, basically every other card was almost sold out, and it's not like the cars are selling that well either. But they saw a crap ton of the 4060s lying around. So yeah, that's kind of something. But yeah. But yeah, anyway, I'll end it here. Thanks for watching. Like always, have a good one.